Okay, let's get started with the very first video in this series. Why do we need a strategy and for which stakeholders? If you're looking at it from your own perspective, like for what you are doing this for yourself, in the end, it's to create a defendable, retellable story. You don't want to be telling a story that people cannot follow, and you don't want to have a story that is way too long to tell. So it's important that it is retellable, and that's one part of a strategy that is quite important, that it is simple. It's about your purpose in the market. Why are you doing this? Which market are you addressing? So like, to whom are you selling? And a very important point about this is also that you are very aware of what makes your product different. In commoditized markets nowadays, where you have a lot of choice between products, it's important that you also highlight to people what makes you different. Why would I choose your product? It's not just to solve one particular problem, because usually we already have solutions for those, unless you're so innovative that you're creating a new category or something. But it is important that you understand what makes your product different. If you want to frame this in a job to be done statement, like understanding what your job is towards yourself when you're creating a strategy, it is, I want to make sure that I'm going into the right direction with my product and with my strategy. That is a simple sentence for a quite complicated problem, and I hope I can answer it for you here a little bit better by the end of this course. So what does that mean? For the investors, it means you are telling me that you're making a ton of cash, and I would like to know now from you, how will you get there? Right? So like the investor will look at your strategy in a different light in this sense. For them, it's important that their investment is protected and it is in good hands. So they want to make sure that their investment is actually in good hands, right? So your strategy also has to fulfill for that particular purpose. If you have employees, then it is important to understand, how do we change the world? This is about giving purpose to people. How are we different, and who do we strive to be? Both of these are quite important, because in the end, the job of an employee is, I need to know what I'm supposed to do and for whom, and also how. If you understand how your product is different, so let's say we are making sure that we have superior support or whatever, then everything that we develop, everything that we design should be also designed under this particular point of view. And this gets forgotten quite often. It's not that you just generically produce any product. You're creating a product that should be different in the market. Generic products don't make it, right? We need to be specific in a very specific niche, and then we are also trying to excel in that particular problem serving. If you're looking at it from the marketing perspective, which is also a very important one, because it's not just marketing that does this, but like if you're trying to sell this afterwards to the bigger part of the market, then the question is, so who do we sell this to? And I need to know how to address our customers. And this is also a very difficult part, and I try to highlight it here as well, because finding your ICPs, your ideal customer profile, is a very tricky part. But there are some ways to actually do this. And we want to know whether we are addressing the right customers or the wrong customers. And for marketing, this is extremely important. And the strategy can help in this. And for management, broadly speaking, they have a question. And their question is, how do we align our teams so they can succeed and go into the same direction aligned? If you do not have a strategy and everybody goes in different directions, you will have teams pulling in different directions. And then the base job of management, I want to enable my teams, is not going to work. But management in good companies is evaluated by the traction that the teams have in some way or another, whether you're going straight for revenue or like whether you're just being measured on the impact of your product. You're still going to be measured on this particular outcome. That's it for the very first part. In the next one, we're going to look at the forms and principles of strategy.